Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
The 9th and 10th place game, Pachuca did beat Pumas 3-1, and Tijuana in 7th place beat FC Juarez, 8th place FC Juarez 3-1 as well. So, once again, Tijuana now plays the 2nd place team, which is Tigres. And now Juarez, even though they lost, has to play the winner of Pachuca and Pumas, which was Pachuca. So they are playing to see who plays against the 1st place team, which is Toluca. And Juarez beat Pachuca 2-1 to play against 1st place Toluca. So that is the play-in round recap. Look, at this point, I think I've said it. I'm not a fan of this play-in round. It's kind of, I guess it's a way to punish the guys that barely scrapped through, and I get it, but I don't think this is really making this any interesting. I don't think this adds any drama. Though I will say, I can't say that that no team that has played in the play-in haven't won Liga MX, because Club América was a play-in team and they won Liga MX. But it's also an anomaly because it's Club América of all teams. But I will say, I don't know if any fan is necessarily sold on this format. And I mean, of all things, now when we look at the table for the quarterfinals, it looks like if the table would have just finished, we got the matchups. Like, if you just didn't include the 9th and 10th place team, we got exactly what we would have gotten anyways. Now, it's not always going to be the case. We've had those one-off matches where the 10th seed beats the 9th and even somehow beats the team that, and we've seen the 8th place team beat the 7th place team. Like, we've seen those scenarios before. I mean, we've had this format for a while now. But it's just, I don't know. It's just not for me. I don't think I'm a minority here. Which is funny because, obviously I support MLS and I like MLS, and I complain about their playoff format. And then now here I am with Liga MX, and I'm also not happy with their playoff format. I'm fine with the playoff format because, once again, Mexico does a playoff format, USA does MLS does a playoff format. Hell, El Salvador, that's the country where my family's from, their league does a playoff format. So for me, it's not foreign. A playoff format isn't foreign to me. But it's got to make sense at some point, man. So that's my only gripe with it. But we are in the quarterfinals. So for those of you guys who don't really know Liga MX, the quarterfinals from here to all the way to the final, including the final, are 2 legs. So they play 2 games. Winner of the aggregate advances on to the next round. Now, in the event of a tie on aggregate, you would think they would go to extra time until someone wins. No, that is not the case. In the event of a tie on aggregate, the higher seed automatically advances. So, for instance, if Cruz Azul and Chivas de Guadalajara draw an aggregate 2-2, Cruz Azul advances to the next round. Chivas gets eliminated. That's also I also am not a fan of this. That's just personally me. But like I said, I do like Liga MX. I do love the playoffs. I do love this time of the year for Liga MX. It's a lot of fun. So let's get into the quarterfinals, man. Let's just get into it. First matchup is 1st place Toluca versus 8th place Juarez. Obviously, Toluca has been one of the better teams this year for Liga MX. Really solid all-around team. So, can Juarez come in and upset? It could happen. Obviously, once again, repeating in Liga MX is not the easiest thing to do. But Toluca is playing very much lights out right now, and Juarez just had to play 2 matches, and that should take into account, especially when you're playing against a team like Toluca. So I expect Toluca to advance. I know that's a boring pick. I would be intrigued to somehow find a way to tell you that FC Juarez is going to advance, but when you've already played 2 games, it's kind of tricky. Also, I should probably mention by the time this drops, the first legs have probably already been played. So I'm just gonna let you guys know right then and there. But all right, next matchup is second place Tigres taking on 7th place Tijuana. This matchup is pretty interesting to me. Tigres is also a very well-rounded team. It's a really good unit. Tijuana, they're scrappy. They are a scrappy team. Obviously, when you think of Tijuana, you think of Gilberto Mora, who is a fun watch. If you guys haven't been watching this kid is really solid. I can't wait to see how he progresses in his career. But yeah, I just beside that, I don't see anything. Like I said, I can't see any way where Tigres doesn't show out because they have been really good this season. But you never know. You never know in Liga MX. But I'm gonna stay boring. Tigres moves on. I want Juarez and Tijuana to upset. I would love to see that. Once again, these guys are playing well. Maybe not so much Tijuana. Tijuana only played 1 game, but I think they got a good amount of rest. FC Juarez are not. So that is really the challenge, the dilemma. I will say, if I had to pick which one would more likely beat their matchup, I would say Tijuana. But like I said, Tigres is just a loaded team. They are loaded. They are very solid. They're a really good unit. So I don't see that changing anytime soon. And also their home field is insane. Next matchup is 3rd place Cruz Azul taking on 6th place Chivas de Guadalajara. I would love to tell you that somehow Chivas de Guadalajara goes in and beats Cruz Azul, and it could happen. I know that a lot of Cruz Azul fans view their team as a curse. They're cursed in the playoffs, even though they finally did beat those demons. But Cruz Azul has been playing really well. They've looked really solid. But no, I get it. I'm being boring, and I don't like that I'm being boring. But I'm gonna pick Cruz Azul. I'm gonna pick Cruz Azul to advance to the next round. And then the last matchup is 4th place Club América versus 5th place Monterrey. I will say of all the matches, this is probably the most even matchup. And I did highlight early in the last time I talked about Liga MX that this is probably the matchup I'm going to watch anyways because it is Club América and it is Monterrey, 2 of the biggest clubs in Mexico, 2 of the biggest followings here in the U.S. for these 2 teams. Specifically where I live in the U.S., there's a lot of people from Monterrey. And obviously, América, they're just a big club. They're DF. It's DF. Club América is always a threat in this thing. Like I say this a lot, not because partially because I want to jinx them, but secondly, they're just really good. They're just a really good team. They know how to win Liga MX. But on the flip side, you do have Monterrey, who are also really good. Obviously, they have Sergio Ramos. They have a lot of really good guys, a lot of Spanish influence on that team. Not saying that makes them better by any means, but despite Anthony Martial being just completely ass for Monterrey, they still are a pretty good team. I would say this is get your popcorn ready because this I hope I'm pulling that this is going to be the better matchup. Also, like the thing that scares me about the second leg, and the thing that scares me most about recording this, knowing that I'm not going to be able to, basically, I might have to eat some of my words at this point, is because who knows if there's a blowout by the time this episode drops. But Monterrey, honestly, I'm feeling it. I'm gonna pick Monterrey to beat Club América. So I'm gonna say that's my, and it's not really an upset pick because once again, 4th and 5th I feel like are fairly even. So that's not really like an upset pick by any means. But who I have advancing is Toluca, Tigres, Cruz Azul, and Monterrey to the semifinals. It's gonna go by quick, man. Liga MX, they go by pretty quick. It feels, you think you just started the play, and next thing you know, you're in the final. So I can't wait to continue watching this amazing insanity that is Liga MX. And I hope you guys do too, because like I said, it's a fun league. Watch it, especially if you live in the U.S. because it's not that big of a time zone change. So watch these games, man. It's fun, it's entertaining. The crowds are amazing. I love the fandom in Mexico. Can be a bit intense at times, but still, it's such a great league, and go watch it, man. Just that's all I'm saying. Go watch it.
Who is that guy?